Good morning, Bucknutters. Welcome to the Bucknuts Morning 5 here on Friday, October 6th, 2017. I am Dave Biddle, and I'm very happy to be joined by Jonah Booker. J-Book, Buckeyes 31-point favorites against visiting Maryland tomorrow at the Horseshoe. Game will be televised by Fox, 4 p.m. Eastern is kickoff. My question for you, sir, is Maryland going to provide any sort of test for the Buckeyes tomorrow?
I don't think so, Dave. I mean, these guys are coming in. They're the walking wounded, especially at quarterback. They're down to their third-string guy. Vegas thinks this is going to be an absolute rout. But I will say this: if they actually looked pretty good against Minnesota last week, so I think they'll provide a test early on. But once the depth of Ohio State kicks in, I think this would be an absolute rout here.
Give me a final score prediction. How do you think this is going to play out? And give me a final score prediction.
Yeah, I'm calling this game Ohio State 45, Maryland 17. So I think the first team defense they're absolutely going to smother this Maryland football team. I think you can see a couple backdoor touchdowns to cover the underdog Vegas line. Once the second and third team unit are in there playing for Ohio State.
You and I have a very similar score. You have 45-17 Buckeyes. I have 42-13 Buckeyes. So neither one of us have Ohio State's covering, but, do have them winning comfortably. That's what it's all about. Unless you're gambling on the Buckeyes, then you want the Buckeyes to cover. Let's move on. I want to talk about Jeff Okudah. I had a chance to interview Kerry Combs a couple of days ago after practice, and I knew Okudah was playing a lot for true freshman standards for corners at Ohio State. I didn't realize until Kerry Combs, agreed with me and then stopped me, in mid-sentence and said, in fact, he's playing more snaps than any true freshman that I've had since I've been here. I mean, and you think about it, it makes a lot of sense. A lot of those guys that have been standouts have redshirted or barely played. Like Denzel Ward barely played as a true freshman. A lot of the standouts like Eli Apple, Garyon Conley, Marshawn Lattimore, even Brad Roby before Combs got here because he inherited Roby. All those guys redshirted. So Jeff Okudah, it's such an interesting story to me, Jonah, just that he's made the two deep. He's playing a lot as the number 4 corner. But my question for you, do you think his role will increase? Do you think he might put pressure on Sheffield or Arnett to maybe get in that top 3, so to speak?
I think he has a shot. The one thing that Okudah had going for him was he came in very polished as a true freshman. The guy worked with Clay Mack, and a lot of people don't know who Clay Mack is he's considered a defensive back training guru in the Dallas area in Texas. And so he's currently working with Anthony Cook. Clay Mack is so highly sought of that Marshawn Lattimore, after he was drafted by the Saints, that's who he went and trained with. So Clay Mack was Okudah's personal DB coach / trainer before he came to Ohio State. So he came in very, very highly skilled and very polished for a true freshman. So I'm not surprised at all that he's getting the run that he's getting. Now, the thing that we're going to see right now is we're about to start getting into the teeth of the Big Ten. If Okudah is able to show in practice that he's ready for this type of big-time game atmosphere, I think he's going to get a lot more reps. And if you see Sheffield and Damon Arnett not playing to the standards that this secondary is used to playing at, I can also see that potentially pushing him up as far as getting more reps on the field.
Michigan State at Michigan tomorrow night. It's right after the Ohio State game. Works out perfectly. They kick off at 7:30 up in Ann Arbor at the Big Toilet Bowl. Do the Spartans have – I know they have a chance. Obviously, this is a rivalry game. They have a chance. Do they have a legitimate chance to win this game, in your opinion?
I think Sparty has a chance. If the thing about Michigan State is Michigan State has to stop committing stupid penalties. They absolutely murdered themselves against Notre Dame. They have stupid penalties, and they fumbled the ball in the red zone several times. Michigan, they're going to be starting O'Corn. This is going to be his first true start in the rivalry game. I look for this to be a low-scoring affair. I think it's going to be a defensive battle here. Michigan, you have to give them the slight edge because they're at home with the home field advantage. But I think Michigan State absolutely has a shot here, especially if they can protect the football and stop committing stupid penalties.
And back to the Buckeyes, Jamarco Jones, I thought played really well as a first-year starter at left tackle, and I thought coming into the year he might be, All-American candidate. And then little did I know, and he's played well. I mean, there's like a stat out there that he's given up like one quarterback pressure out of like 155 snaps, which is like the number one, ranked left tackle in the country according to College Football Film Room. Studrawa did say that's not exactly accurate. He thinks he's given up more than just one. But the point of the matter is the guy's playing well, and he finally revealed this week, and Urban Meyer did as well, Jay Book, that Jamarco Jones had an appendectomy surgery in late July, and Urban Meyer still doesn't think he's fully 100%. I just think, just speak on that, how well Jamarco Jones has played. And now, I mean, especially after the bye week, and Jamarco says he's pretty close to 100% now. I mean, my gosh, how good could this guy be by the end of the season?
Yeah, Jamarco, he's a tough guy, Dave, and you love to see a guy with his potential really living up to his hype coming in. He's really blossomed into an awesome left tackle for the Buckeyes. I agree with Stud. I think he's given up slightly more than just one particular pressure, but overall, he's been playing outstanding. He's having a great year. He's putting himself into position to be a high NFL draft pick. I know NFL GMs are drooling at the mouth, especially with a guy with his feet, his size, and then you add the toughness element to it. So it's all around good offensive line play by Jamarco Jones. And the one thing that's really surprised me is Brandon Bowen is actually starting to come on. I know Pro Football Focus had Brandon Bowen rated as the number one guard in the Big Ten in Week 5. So that's a big eye-opening thing right there, just to have Brandon Bowen starting to elevate his play, and obviously Billy Price is starting to come together. But the major test at the end of the day is going to be how will these guys perform when the lights are bright and Penn State comes to town and the Big Ten East title is on the line. Last year up in Happy Valley, this offensive line got taken behind the woodshed. So I'm curious to see how they're going to perform once competition is equal and the defense is crowding the line of scrimmage. That's what I want to see. But so far, you have to be happy the way those guys are trending.
Great insights, as always, from Jonah Booker. You can read J-Book's column every week on Bucknuts. It is Outside Columbus. You can follow him on Twitter at JBook37. Thank you very much to Jonah Booker, and thanks to all the listeners out there for tuning into the show. Enjoy the game tomorrow. Hope you have a great day and a great weekend. Let's hear that Buckeye swag, best damn band in the land.